reappointments. I'm going to take them up in block. Senate nomination 54, Colonel Deborah Wally Coleman from Brandon. She is reappointment to Veteran Affairs as an at-large member starting June 1st, 2022 through May 31st of 2027. And also Senate nomination 56, Brigadier General Norman Gene Hortman Jr. He's with the Veterans Home Purchase Board. He will represent the state at large for 4 years, beginning July 22 through June 30th of 2026. The records haven't changed none. Do I have a motion? All in favor? Aye. Go out of the way. Next up, we have John Scott Ladner, Gulfport. He is a appointment to the State Veteran Affairs Board starting July 14th of 2022 and will end in May 31st, 2027, representing the 5th Congressional District in replacement of General James Gardner. If you'd like to sit there at the table.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. If you tell the committee just briefly a little bit about yourself.
I'm a native Mississippian, born in Lumberton. I grew up here in South Jackson. Now reside in Gulfport, Mississippi. 34 years service in the Air Force and Air National Guard, starting with the Air Force Academy and then 30 years active after that between those two. I really appreciate the opportunity to serve. Two things near and dear to my heart, my home state of Mississippi and fellow military veterans. So I'm very grateful for the opportunity to serve in that capacity.
Thank you, sir. What do you see as the mission of the State Veterans Affairs Board, and how do you intend to contribute to this mission?
Well, the overall mission is to support our veterans as best we can. And that's done through a lot of agencies, not just Mississippi Veterans Affairs, but it's certainly the largest. And we also work with other agencies as well. I think I bring with the experience I have working not just with the Air Force, but I was worked a lot with the Army, Navy, very joint. And also when I retired, worked for Congressman Plazo as his military representative in the district. And I continue to serve. I believe in that. I work for Provo Community College, helping them with the Bring Up Aircraft Maintenance Training Program. And so I have a lot of experience in a lot of different areas. And just growing up in Mississippi and serving there for many years, the connections that I think will help. And certainly in South Mississippi in that district. And you said replace General Gardner. Nobody replaces General Gardner, but I'm certainly proud to step in that role and serve, because most of our veterans come from South Mississippi. But we look at it as a whole, not just South, but I'm very proud to have the opportunity to represent them in that district.
The last question, is there anything in your past that you haven't already brought forward that would embarrass this committee?
No, sir.
Okay, with that, I open the floor up. Any questions for the committee members? Senator Barnett.
Looking at the peer report here, General Ladner, according to peer, it said that it located no record of your statement of economic interest that should be filed with the Ethics Commission. Document has not been filed or hasn't been filed.
I didn't have anything to present because I really, all my employment, even after I retired, has strictly been serving either, I taught high school, I worked for Congressman Plazo. I don't have any economic interest in businesses, or if that answers your question. And I'm not involved in anything that would potentially have a conflict.
You still have to file it, though. It's a statement of economic interest, whether we doing anything or not, we still have to file it with the ethics.
Yes, sir. I'll be glad to do that. Apologize for that. I did not realize that.
Senator, Chairman, would you be in agreement to make sure that this is filed before we bring it up for full confirmation?
Very important. Follow along.
Have council go ahead and inform Mr. Ladner and maybe other members what the economic interest is, the requirement for that.
I'll take care of that immediately. I'll do it today if I can.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Senator Barnett. Any other questions? Senator DeBar.
Chairman, I'd like to speak on that. If you have. General, I have a question. I see you were in the Air Force. Am I recognized, Chairman?
You are.
I see you were in the Air Force. Were you a pilot?
Navigator or weapon systems officer, I call him now.
So Hoss was your call sign?
Yes, sir.
Nice. Thank you.
There's a lot of John Ladners on the coast, so that just kind of differentiate me. That's what they know me. So,
But that was your call sign, Hoss.
yes, sir.
Yeah.
And
That's
still
cool.
what most people refer to me as.
Yeah, that's cool, General. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Glad you're here.
Yes, sir. Glad to be here.
Any other questions?
Have a motion? Oh. sorry.
Senator DeBar, would you?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just want to speak on his behalf. I've known, I guess, General Ladner. I've known him as Hoss ever since I've worked with him in professional capacity. I really didn't know his rank until I met him in person. And I said, oh, shoot, I better call him by his rank, to be honest with you. But anyways, I've known him for many years in professional capacity. He does very high ethics, very good morals, excellent job performance, and I highly recommend him. It's confirmation. No question.
Senator McMahon?
What type of equipment did you fly?
Well, after starting training on T-37, T-43, B-52s, flew in Desert Storm, then B-1 bombers. Later in Special Ops, AFSOC, the MC-12D Horned Owl, the RC-26, and the MC-12 Project Liberty. We helped bring that up in Meridian. That's a great story. Somebody needs to tell one day. That happened right there in our own wing.
It's great. That's incredible.
I was very, very fortunate and blessed to work with some great people and do some neat missions.
Full motion, Mr. President.
Senator Barnett?
Do it by them.
All those in favor? All those opposed? Okay, I'm sorry. It'll be fine. Next up, thank you, Hoss. Next up, Senate nomination will be in block also 57 and 58. Major General James Lipscomb III from Greenville, Mississippi, to the Veteran Home Purchase Board to represent the 2nd Congressional District. He exited, let's see, first 87, unexpired 4-year term, November 1 of 2022, ending in June of 30th of 23. Vice Richard Stevens. And then he's fulfilling the next term that will run May 1st or July 1st, 2023 through June 30th of 2027. Major General, you have a seat. Thank you, Mr. John. I'm gonna pose the same questions to you. Right. Yes, sir. What do you see as the mission of the State Veterans Home Purchase Board, and how do you intend to contribute to this mission?
Well, the mission of the State Veterans Home Purchase Board obviously is to be able to provide for qualified veterans the ability to be able to buy generally a home that most people aspire to be able to do and to assist them. And if you look through the different applications that you see, I mean, many of the people that you do see find themselves in a situation where they cannot go somewhere else to receive that loan to buy that home that all of them have. At the same time, you know, the authority is given to the board to be able to set the interest rates that have always generally been below what the market rates are. For instance, today, I mean, it's on a 15-year loan, it's 3.5%. On a 30-year loan, it's a 4% rate that they receive. And if you look through I mean, I've been serving out there for a few months, and you know, you look through the different applications that come through, and what you see is just what I just got through saying. Most of the people probably would have some difficulty being able to get a loan elsewhere. And at the same time, those loans are all VA guaranteed. And the Home Purchase Board is in outstanding financial shape. There obviously has been a run as interest rates have escalated during 22, a run for people to be able to acquire one at a lower interest rate. And the board has tried to do that. The legislature has been very helpful so far by approving a deficit funding bill so that the board could go ahead and fund the loans that have already been approved. So I see the future just continuing at a much higher pace as our country goes through this period of time of escalating interest rates. So my objective is to be able to serve all those veterans that we all have an obligation to, and to continue to help everyone where there's a place to help them.
I will allow a question from Senator McMahon or do y'all have a question about it?
This is Jim Harris.
Well,
I just have a question. Mr. Lipsky, if this, sorry, excuse me.
No problem.
Basically the same question that I asked. General Boss, Halls, I'm sorry, about the economic interest that's not being filed, that's been filed.
I'm not aware that was not done. I mean, I followed the peer committee's direction on completion of the application. And once it was sent to them, I mean, they acknowledged that they had received it and that there was nothing else that needed to be done from my part. But as General Ladner said, I mean, if it's something that I need to do, you can certainly be assured that I will do it. And I have no economic interest in what the affairs of the Veterans Home Purchase Board is.
Okay, and then the other one that I see. That it does not comply with state law, which require that board members must be veterans of either World War II, Korean conflict, Southeast, the Persian Gulf convict or have served in active duty for at least 180 days during a time of war or a conflict in which campaign ribbon of medal is issued.
Well, this would be my response to that. That law has been on the books for quite a few years. I mean, just as an example, I mean, we've taken for the last 20 years, this country's been in a war somewhere. And those people, if they didn't meet the other qualifications, they wouldn't meet it, even if they had been in Afghanistan and Iraq. I enlisted in the Mississippi National Guard when I was a senior in high school, and I have a military career that spans nearly 38 years. I enlisted as a private. I retired after spending nearly 4 years as the adjutant general, full-time job here in the state of Mississippi, and at the same time, you know, it was a difficult time for anybody that was in the Guard. Because of the different mobilizations. And during the time that I was there, we mobilized and deployed more people than had been deployed since the Korean War. So, you know, and at the same time, I mean, we provided Army forces in excess of 3,000 personnel from Mississippi that made the initial invasion into Iraq. So there was a lot of responsibility that came with that. So as I look over my military career and know that I've had the opportunity to command units after completing officer candidate school and being commissioned, I had the opportunity to command units at every level, battery level, the battalion level, brigade level, major subordinate command level, and retiring as the adjutant general after nearly 4 years full-time service right here in the Joint Force headquarters. That's the only response that I know people found. If you have other questions.
I just want to be one of those who did. Thank you for all of your service. I'm a veteran myself, but I just saw this was on the peer report. And I know that we have others in the room as well as others who are watching this, you know, via the internet or YouTube, whatever. And I just make sure, you know, as a committee, as a member of that committee, that we ask those questions that are before.
Yes, sir. And I appreciate
That's the reason why, you know, I asked the question.
I thank you for your service too.
Thank you.
To the committee, we're gonna take this up, but we're gonna seek further legal counsel on this. The law is the law, and not just the hope, we ain't gonna hold it up, but if we later find out, because we have time before it will come to the floor, that we can address this.
Mr. Chairman, if I may,
Sure.
could,
Senator Barr.
I think there's no doubt as to the general qualifications to serve on the board. It's whether or not it meets the statutory requirements.
Right.
That's all it is.
That is.
Would it be? I don't know if, I'm very confident the committee would vote yes on this nomination. Were it not questions on the statutory matter. But would it be wise to lay it on the table subject to call, since we have a month before the session's over? To allow you as the chairman to get with council to allow you time to inform us whether this is, because I don't want to, in my opinion, I don't want to affirm him and then next thing we know, somebody brings up a lawsuit or challenges our confirmation and had to be removed forward. I want him there because I know he's very capable of doing it, but I don't want any legal issues to arise because of that.
Senator, you're my JAG officer, president. I will entertain a motion.
Motion to lay it on the table subject to call.
So be it. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right. Senate nomination 75. Rodney Harris, Clinton, Mississippi. He is an appointment to the Veteran Home Purchase Board. Will be effective October 4th, 2022. Well, ending through June 30th of 2024. Have a seat. Same question to you.
Go Roger.
What do you see as the mission of the State Veterans Home Purchase Board, and how do you intend to contribute to this mission?
I'll be a little brief with the answer as the general outline much of what we do as a Veterans Home Purchase Board, but I would see the number one mission, obviously, again, to take care of our veterans and to provide them with an opportunity in the most economical way to own their own home. And why I see my role there is ensuring that each and every application, the processes, what the staff does there at the facility in Pearl is done in a manner of professionalism, done in a manner of excellence, and done in a manner to support the veterans.
Thank you, sir. Is there anything in your past that you haven't already brought forth that would embarrass this committee?
No, sir.
Are there any questions?
Same question.
Ethics
Ethics.
to all that have been here. After this meeting, get with legal counsel to help. This is not a big thing to fill out, but before we ever come to the Florida Senate, this will have to be taken care of.
Okay, not a problem.
Motion. Have I consent? All those in favor? All those opposed? Right.
All right, thank
Do I
you.
hear a motion?
Rise and report.
Bubba?
I guess I wasn't thinking about it.
Yeah.